one was, if you get to a fork in the road in your life, take it. And this is another one. But he had always what's called yogiisms, short sentences that you can use anytime. For example, when you find yourself at table topics and you can't come up with something, it's always nice to have something in your back pocket to come back with a snappy answer. Now, does anybody know who this guy is? What's his name?
Brady.
Tom Brady. New York Patriots.
Yep.
If you watched the Super Bowl a few months ago, you would see him. Now let me tell you about Tom Brady, and this comes back to Toastmasters as well. Doesn't matter if you finish first or last. What matters is you finish. Tom Brady, right now, 5 Super Bowl rings. Nobody, I'm sorry, he's a quarterback. Nobody has 5 Super Bowl rings. He does. But let me tell you how it started. Tom Brady, when he got out of college, he started number 199 on the list of drafts. In fact, it was worse. When he got recruited, you have the first cycle of recruits. People can pick from you in the first batch. He wasn't even in the first batch. He wasn't in the second. He wasn't even in the third, fourth, or fifth. He was in the 6th pick. That means is that 5 other groups could have picked upon before they even could pick on him. He was 199 to be picked. And when the New England Patriots recruited him, he wasn't the starting quarterback. He was the 4th quarterback. That means that the first one goes out, doesn't start, and the second one doesn't start, and then the third one doesn't start, and then the 4th one, that would have been him. But Tom Brady did real good. He consistently kept practicing and practicing and practicing. And then he started winning Super Bowl rings. I'm sorry, Risling first was the quarterback. He was 2nd quarterback at that time. Risling blew his knee out. He became the starting quarterback. And he's been the starting quarterback since, earning 5 Super Bowl rings for the New England Patriots. It doesn't matter if you finish first or last, as long as you finish. Now, talking about sport, let me bring you back to a time when you think competition, speech competition, is about winning, losing. Well, one of the lessons that we learned in Toastmasters is that there's other people who are going to help you. Even if I'm giving this presentation, somebody later on will give an evaluation on me. Somebody will help me. Now let me tell you about the Olympic Games in 1936. They were held at the time in Germany. Now at that time, Hitler was the chancellor, and he believed in the white superior race. The white people were good. And there was this white gentleman, blonde hair, blue eyes. He was a very good long jumper, which basically means you start and then you jump, and then the whole idea is to stay in the air as long as possible before you land in the sand. Now Hitler had all his hopes up high that Loos would win. Unfortunately, Loos's biggest competitor was Jesse Owens, a black gentleman. Needless to say, Hitler wasn't too thrilled that a black man could potentially win from a white man. So the jurors were instructed to play fall ball. So what happened was, 1936, the first time Jesse Owens thinks he's practicing, and he comes run, and he jumps, and he lands, and he's just like thinking, okay. At that point, the judges said, that was your first jump. Yeah, first jump. Ah, this is my practice jump. No. That was your first jump. You only have 3 chances to jump as far as you can get. The furthest counts. So that was his first. He blew his first jump, and he had only 2 left. So here he goes for the second one, and he looks, and he looks, and he starts running, and he looks at the line, and as he jumps, he steps on the line. He touches the line. Disqualified. So, 2 chances, 2 wrongs. Didn't look good for Jesse. Fortunately, there was somebody in the audience that was watching what he was doing, and he didn't think it was fair how he was treated as a black man. So what happened was, one person came up to him and said, you know what? You're doing it wrong. You're looking at the line, and that was why you touched it. What you do is you get a little piece, and you put it before the line. Don't look at the line, look at the chalk. Sure enough, 3rd try, he jumps, he set the world record in the far jump. Here he is, 1st place, 2nd place, Bruce Long. By the way, did I mention that the gentleman who told him about the chalk was his competitor, Bruce Long. So just because you have competitors doesn't mean that imagine you're going out there, first time, go to speech contest. You come into the stage and go like, oh, you have no clue. You go like, I want to give a speech. Your heart is racing, sweat's pouring down, and you're like, oh, no. So as you start to think, you make mistakes. Remember, there's no mistakes. It just is what teaches you to stand up strong. Anybody know the story about the giraffe with the babies? Baby giraffe gets born, and the moment the baby gets born, the mother knocks the giraffe down. So then the baby giraffe is trying to get back on its feet, and the moment he gets back on his feet, the mother knocks him down again. And again. And again. And you think, well, that's not very nice of the mother to knock down that baby thingy. But you know what? The baby learns the reflex on how to get back on its feet. So one day, when there is a lion or a tiger or a bear, oh my, chasing the giraffe, he's got the reflexes that if he trips, he'll get back up. Just like in Toastmasters, when you trip, you get back up. I'd like to close with, anybody know who this dude is?
Winston Churchill?
Huh?
Winston Churchill?
Winston Churchill. Now, let me tell you about Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, when he was a little boy, it took him 3 years to go through 8th grade. He wasn't very smart. He wasn't very known for his public speaking abilities. He got these nice sentences, but he wasn't the biggest public speaker. In fact, he was so bad that he became very good. Even though he barely graduated high school, he was asked to give a speech at the Oxford University after World War II. And he got up there on stage. He got up there proud with his cane and his cigar and his hat. And as he stood there, the audience was going wild. And he said, never. And the audience goes, yeah! And he goes, never, never. And he goes, yeah! And then he goes like, never, never, never give up. And then he goes, okay, now what? And he left, he went home. So even though some of the biggest, best speakers that we know in history might not be the best speakers at all, he could have used a little bit of Toastmasters. So let's look at how contests work. Just like Brady said, doesn't matter if you finish the first or last. Just make sure you finish. There's always those who will help you improve on what it is that you do. And just like the giraffe, it's the mistakes that make us who we are. And please remember the words of Churchill. Never, never, never give up.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you very much. A nice presentation, and you will get your evaluation at the final. Muchas gracias, Marty, por esta bella